Hi everyone, I think we might get started. We're expecting people just to roll in as we get going. Hopefully you're all seeing a screen here. Okay. All right, so I might just get started. My name is Dr. Helen McGuire. I'm the ACS President-elect, and it brings me great pleasure to introduce and start the ball rolling today. So I might just get started with an acknowledgement of country. So this is a tradition that we do in Australia. In usual sense, it's a tradition where we're all gathered in physical sense to educate and learn, but I think we might still do it even though we're on a digital platform today. So before we begin the proceedings, I'd like to acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional owners of the land on which we virtually meet. So we're being hosted by the University of Sydney, and that is represented by the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. So it is upon these ancestral lands that the University of Sydney is built, and today we're sharing our knowledge, teachings, learnings, and research practices within the university. So I'd just like to pay respects to acknowledge the embedded forever within the Aboriginal custodians of the country. So in addition to this welcome message, I would just like to do a couple of housekeeping, as we're seeing a number of participants roll in. It's fantastic. And we're all quite familiar with Zoom etiquette these days, so I will ask you to keep your microphone muted while you're not speaking. We will have Q&A questions throughout, of course. I think Tom and the rest of the team will probably invite you to turn on your video and turn on your microphone when you're asking those Q&A questions. In doing so, if you speak slowly to make sure that you are understood. I can't even speak slowly as surely myself. And I encourage you to actually participate and immerse yourself in this lecture series and workshop thoroughly. So put away the other distractions in your life. I think we have, alerts coming from left, right, and center. And so if we can just encourage you to be fully immersed in the experience and be present in the event. If you have any disconnection issues or any technical issues, I've shared with you Thomas Ashurst's email address, and so he'll be a point of contact for any technical concerns. So with that, thank you for attending. We've had an incredible response. You can see here we've already got 90 people participating. We've got over 120 guests registered, which is just phenomenal. And so we have both of our workshop streams fully subscribed, and we're really quite encouraged by this popularity. This is a new format that we've not done before, and I do extend an apology on behalf of the organising committee for anyone who was trying to attend the workshop and was unable to attend. So we look forward to your feedback. If this is working, we can make this a regular event. So yeah, outside of our annual conference, which was postponed this year, the Roadshow is something that is one of the most important events for the Australasian Cytometry calendar. It's through this excellent programming and logistics that we've been able to bring it now into a digital sense. So I'm glad that we didn't have to scrap this off our calendar this year at all. So it's really great. So, so we've got some absolute utmost dedication from the Roadshow presenters and our ACS task force. And so it's with this, we're pleased to bring the event with you today. So firstly, a little about what is ACS. I keep referring to it. ACS has been supporting the Australian and New Zealand flow cytometry community since 1979. We promote research, development, and application in cytometry. Our members cover both research and clinical fields, and we are particularly involved in supporting the shared resource laboratory labs, so those flow facilities that you rely on so dearly. So it's through these, we have an internationally acclaimed annual conference, through workshops and events such as this Roadshow, that we facilitate networking with our industry leaders and support our members with scholarships and whatnot. And so we use the word cytometry very broadly, and in fact it covers both flow, mass, genomic imaging, all of which will benefit from learning this type of analysis that we're talking about today. So yeah, if you are considering either joining from start or as a rejoining, we absolutely encourage you. We have some really great benefits. So we have some great clinical guidelines. We have discounts to ACS events. So usually when we get the conference going, we'll have things like that. We have members only events. We have scholarships, networking, and our annual conference and workshops. I encourage you to connect with us. So by the usual means, so you can tweet and, if you're feeling inspired by this little week-long journey, tweet it out, and we'd love to hear it. We have a LinkedIn presence as well as a website that's getting rapidly filled up with content. So this year, we've really been challenged in a number of settings, and I think not least ACS, the whole world has been challenged, but we've risen to the occasion and pivoted to make sure our membership are well supported. And so it's events such as this home show. We've also been launching what's ended up being about a monthly presence in terms of an ACS hour webinar series, and again, as I mentioned, building the website. And we also recently aligned with our international cytometry presence, running an ACS hub as an adjunct event as a part of the as part of the Cyto virtual this year. So we do have an annual general meeting coming up in October, and I do encourage you to make sure your membership is up to date so you can participate, because we'd love to hear you, get your feedback, and build towards the future. And as always, you can reach out and get in touch. So with that, I'll just take a pause and encourage DU to say a few words, because this event today is co-hosted by the Systems Immunology, Technology, Quantification and Applications Special Interest Group as part of the Australian and New Zealand Society of Immunology for Immunology. And so Dee, if you'd like to say a few words, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Helen. First of all, I want to apologize. I just realized some issue with my camera, so I have to show your ID face instead of a real one. Good morning, everyone. My name is DU. I'm working at the University of Queensland Diamantina Institute in Brisbane. I will just have a few words on behalf of Australia and the New Zealand Society of Immunology, ASI, a special interest group for systems immunology. We are very pleased to be the partner with ACS in organizing this high-D data analysis home show. First of all, really congratulations to ACS, Helen, Tom, and all others in organizing such a fantastic event. As Helen just mentioned, it was initially organized as a face-to-face workshop and training, but have to change into the virtual format. Nevertheless, this virtual workshop will cover a broad range of participants, which is great. For those not very familiar with our special interest group in ASI, our full name is Systems Immunology, Technology, Quantification and Application, SITCA, or often referred just as Systems Immunology, SIG. As a relatively new SIG established only 2 years ago, our major aim is to promote high throughput technologies and computational data analysis for immunological research applications, and also provide a platform for the partnership between our immunologists with the technology specialists, bioinformaticians, statisticians, and clinicians. So this SIG is coordinated by Mark Chong at the St. Vincent Institute of Medical Research and myself. We have a really good community composed of state representatives and technical and analytic domain representatives. Indeed, Helen and your home show lecturer, Thomas, took the role in the technique and domain representatives in our committee. So if you have any interest or ideas, you can contact Mark and myself so we can create some new initiatives under this umbrella. Many of you are ASI members. And when you log into your ASI membership, in the website of your member profile of details, you can choose systems immunology as your special interest. I highly encourage you to do so and get connected with us. You will then receive information of systems immunology so that you will not miss out any events like this one very fantastic home show. So finally, on behalf of Systems Immunology SIG, we thank the ASI for the generous financial support for these events, help promote the events and facilitating ASI members to participate in these events. Finally, I wish this a very successful home show and all of you enjoy it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. That's wonderful. Thanks very much. Okay, so now it brings me a great pleasure to introduce our roadshow presenters. So let me just change slides. There we go. So first off, we have Dr. Ashas, who is an internationally recognized leader in the application of high-dimensional cytometry technologies and analysis, and particularly in the study of infectious diseases and immunity. He is an immunologist and a high-dimensional cytometry specialist at the Sydney Cytometry facility. In this role, he leads the Immune Dynamics team, a collaborative and cross-disciplinary team comprising of experts in high-dimensional cytometry, immunology, pathology, and machine learning. He's a recipient of the Mary Lou Ingram Scholarship for the International Society of Advancement of Cytometry, so ISAC, and is also a member of the Human Cell Atlas project. And next up, we have Felix Marsh-Wakefield, who is a postdoctoral researcher, part of the vascular immunology unit at the University of Sydney. He's an immunologist interested in the effects of disease-modifying therapeutics on circulating immune cells in multiple sclerosis patients. His current work utilizes bioinformatics to assist in the analysis of high-dimensional data, including that of mass cytometry. He is also part of the Mary Lou Ingram Scholarship Program as part of ISAC. And finally, we have Giovanna Putri, who is a PhD scholar, punching above her weight, I should say, as a PhD scholar, from the School of Computer Sciences at the University of Sydney, supervised by Dr. Mark Reed and Dr. Irina Kapruska. She's a member of Charles Perkins Centre, is interested in interdisciplinary research, specifically using machine learning to uncover the development of immune responses. So some pretty great presenters for you. And finally, I just wanted to say that I want to wish you all the very best in what's going to be a week-long journey of learning. And I hope that it inspires you and you feel empowered to take on high-dimensional data analysis. And, you know, throughout all this, I should say that we're not a very formal society, and what we do like to share is enthusiasm. So with that, I'd like to make sure you were aware that on Friday we've set aside time in the program to hear from you. So if you're feeling inspired and you want to, you know, share that kind of inspiration with the rest of the team, we have a lightning talk session and prizes will be awarded. So there's a little bit of more incentive there. So that's everything from me. I'm going to pass it over to Tom. I think you're going to start sharing your screen, so I'll just stop that now.